Id returns with the third in a trilogy, this time a prequel with Doom: The Dark Ages, a longtime lineage of the first-person shooter genre, over 30 years of id tech, and a return to gritty, hard-hitting, visceral combat. This is the review for Doom: The Dark Ages. Doom: The Dark Ages is a culmination of the Doom 2016 game and Eternal, but all told from the origin story of the Doomslayer with a medieval-inspired set of weaponry. The visual graphic presentation of the Dark Ages is strikingly clear and colorful, mixing the ancient with the futuristic sci-fi. Cutscenes are visually detailed and tell a minimal story of the Slayer versus the forces of Hell. Doom: The Dark Ages relies heavily on the combination of melee, a Captain America-like shield, and mixed gunplay, with combat dealing about 25% of your damage. Most of your killing power comes from a parry mechanic and time blocks and shield bashing. This is all offset with the large Atlan mech levels, and flying segments with your dragon, which are also half mixed with on-foot combat. The novelty of the flying dragon is great for its time, but wears off fairly quickly. My first impression of Doom: The Dark Ages was that it reminded me more of anything than the wonder and fun and excitement I had when I first played Transformers Cybertron and Bulletstorm's campaign back in the 2010s. The campaign will take you about 18 to 22 hours depending on how much you try to complete within each level. Long play sessions will make it very obvious that the moment-to-moment combat does a lot very well, but continues to repeat itself throughout the varied levels. There is great satisfaction in finding secret areas and taking down mini-bosses who will upgrade your ammo, your armor, and your health, and all of this used to level up your Doomslayer. Doom: The Dark Ages feels punchy and visceral, and unlocking each weapon ramps up the excitement of creativity and combat, and my time with this prequel rounds out an excellent trilogy that I'm glad that id has returned to. To save you any spoilers and the joy of experiencing the game for yourself, I'm going to let the gameplay do the talking before I give my final score. Doom the Dark Ages gets an 8.5 out of 10. This is Colteastwood. Thank you so much for checking out my review for Doom the Dark Ages. A special thanks to Bethesda and id for sending me the game early so I could play it, and I really enjoyed the game. I wanted to keep everything spoiler free, and all of the surprises of getting into the world is really up to you. And as far as the story goes, it's probably the lowest part of the game, as it doesn't really tell some compelling, incredible, memorable story, but still that gameplay really shines through, and I'm glad that Doom is back, and I can't wait for them to do something new, like bring Quake back. That should be the next thing. If you ended up enjoying this video, let me know by liking and subscribing to the channel. Hit the bell to be notified of new content. If you want to further support what we're doing here on the Colteastwood channel, you can do that by hitting the join button below. Channel memberships get early access to videos, monthly merch giveaways, and so much more. Also, we're giving away Doom the Dark Ages coins. Watch out on the channel for that. That'll be given out on the channel and through the XC podcast. Check out the Patreon if you want to do more to get into these other giveaways and so many other tiers. Check that out. The XC podcast will run every Monday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. There we'll talk about the news, dive into more, show you more gameplay for Doom the Dark Ages once you've had time to get hands on it yourself. Let me know what you think about Doom the Dark Ages. Are you going to play it on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Cloud, Game Pass, or whatever? Let me know in the comment section what you think of the game, and while you do that, as I always say, please be nice.